It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from the Marlow Brewery and Rebellion Beer Company, and I'm super excited to bring you this one because it just sounds amazing. It's called Roasted Nuts Extra, and if you've been watching my beer reviews over the years, you will know that I talk roasty, toasty, biscuity, bready, nutty, and I'm just looking at this beer and I'm just thinking it's 5.8% ABV, and it's just right up my street. Absolutely right up my street, this one. So the other two beers I've had from the Marlow Brewery, Rebellion Beer Company, were excellent. They were truly excellent beer. They're bottled beers as well. I've fallen kind of back in love with a good decent bottle of British real ale. That lovely kind of dark brown bottle, black bottle cap. Let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. Oh, here we go. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Isn't that just exciting to look at? If you're a lover of strong ales, British strong ales, with all that lovely biscuity, bready nuttiness about it, then, well, doesn't that look good? It starts off by looking fantastic, doesn't it? One finger, slightly off white head, good levels of carbonation, and it's a deep chestnutty mahogany coloured beer. It's not a bottle conditioned beer. It's definitely not bottle conditioned. You can see that the beer has a relative clarity to it when you're looking at the liquid, but it is very dark and deep, mahogany coloured. Good carbonation. Let's get the aroma then. It smells like Broadside on steroids. If you've ever tried Broadside, this smells like this, but beefed up like Popeye. Biscuit, bready nuttiness, caramel, raisin, plum, fig, prune, coming from the hops in the beer. A spicy pepperiness coming through. Touch of candied sugar. That's probably the malt. Probably the malt. It just smells great. Absolutely great. Let's get into this one. Cheers, everybody. Stone the crows. Stone the crows. It just... Let me pull some flavours first, and let me tell you why I fell in love with this whole kind of real ale beer style thing in the first place. It's exactly what I've said in the aroma. It's nutty, it's biscuity, it's bready, you're almost chewing on the malts, but at the same time there's some refreshment there. The hops are fantastic, that plum, that fig, that prune. Touches of licorice coming through. A nice bitterness from the hops too. It's not overly sweet. This is more a dry caramel. Slightly chocolatey, vanilla. Carbonation pushes the beer round the inside of the mouth. This is just fantastic. This is just fantastic stuff. It really is. Stone the Crows. It's just lovely. I know just lovely is probably not enough, but this is just simply fantastic. Look at it, as I rock the beer back and forth, you can see that carbonation chasing the head of the glass. Look at that as I roll the beer around in the glass. Look at that head redeveloping in the glass. Absolutely fantastic. So I got a couple of questions. This is the last beer that I have from the Marlow Brewery and Rebellion Beer Company. And I haven't asked this question yet, I don't think anyway. So I'm going to ask it now. If you guys know, different Bucks, Buckinghamshire, comment in the comments box. Is it the Marlow Brewery or is it Rebellion Beer Company? Is it that it used to be Marlow Brewery and everybody knows it as the Marlow Brewery, but now it's owned by Rebellion Beer Company, or vice versa? Now, for me, if I was to take a guesstimate at this, it was probably once called the Marlow Brewery, or that's where everybody knows the brewery, so they've named it after that. But it's now owned and run by Rebellion Beer Company. Am I right? Am I wrong? Comment in the comments box, I'd love to know. Yeah, but they're based in Marlow Bottom in Bucks. I love it. Marlow Brewery. Now, I mentioned earlier, why did I fall in love with these beers? Do you know when I used to watch like costume, because my wife likes all that sort of thing, costume dramas and medieval stuff on the television, and you're always kind of and of course Time Team, the archaeology program on the television, and they're always talking ales, and they're always like having pints of ales in the pub after they've done a dig on the archaeology program, or when you're watching a costume drama, they're always like the king or the knights or whatever, they're always drinking pints of ale, you know, goblets of wine, that sort of thing, and it brings a certain imagination out, doesn't it? And it almost like brings the child out in you a little bit, doesn't it? That kind of like, I wonder what it was like back then. It was probably awful. It was probably full of disease and it's terrible. People lived to the age of like 40 max, and that was it, you know. But it still draws the imagination, doesn't it, in your mind, and that's what really, apart from drinking best bitters when I was a young man, that's what got me into buying these kind of like, especially when you go and visit a castle ruin, and then you have a little wander around the castle ruin, and then you go in the gift shop and they got all the pens and pencils for the kids and whatnot. But if you go in some of the gift shops, they might sell like bottles of ale, and that was really the spark. They're like, oh, there's a connection here, you know, there's a real connection between ale and castles and medieval and Time Team and all, and I just loved it. So that was probably one of the reasons why I got into it. And I reckon if I bought this beer way back when, a proper winter warmer of a beer, yeah, it would just have gone a long way into my craft beer journey, if that makes sense. In beginning a craft beer journey, it's a fantastic beer. I'm going to rate it. Look at it, great lacing, great look to the beer. Ooh. Great aroma, fantastic taste. It's a Stone the Crows 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom, cheers.